This is the computer for the Rum Rants with Rob and Jay podcast. You will notice the pervy little fuckers gave me a woman's voice.
Alright, this is Rob from Rum Rants with Rob and Jay, and I'm an idiot.
You are.
I'm an idiot. We just had probably one of the greatest conversations we've had in the history of this show, which we're coming up on a year now. It started out with the typical stuff. We're starting a new structure. I did introductions. We told stories. Jeff got stung by a bee. Jay didn't have anything else to say, so we got into the news. We started talking about D23 and the new Disneyland, or new Star Wars land in Disneyland. And then the subject kind of branched into some of the movies, more movies. We talked a little bit about Civil War. Then we got into politics, and Donald Trump came up, and that started a whole conversation. And of course, with me is Jay and Jeff, and Jeff himself in particular is very political. And then my wife walks in, and Jay decides to pick a fight and says, "What do you think about the election of Donald Trump? Go!" And then for like 20 minutes, this conversation goes on, and it was all missed. Every second of it. I had reached over and turned on my recorder. It was rolling, and then Jay handed me the cord to his computer, and I reached over in my tower to plug it in, and I must have bumped the recorder and lost 45 minutes of gold. Now, you folks, Jeff's over here cringing. You folks can believe me or not, that was gold. My wife's actually very happy about it because she got really riled up that it didn't record. But anyway, I'm stupid, and we're just going to move on from here. We are starting a new structure. I'm going to use that as the introduction. It's Rob, it's Jay, it's Jeff, and we're moving on. So, I feel like a fucking idiot. Now, nobody can hear this, but there was a segue. We started talking about things that have failed, and we were in the news and talking about all the politics going on with the election. Now, for the
wait. Now Jeff is staring at the bottle of whiskey like, should I have some more?
Yeah, he's like, all the rest of this was just fucking destroyed.
So Jeff,
drinking.
pour at least.
Well, you see, my foot that got stung is really much in a lot of pain. So
Jeff, just go 2 fingers. You'll be fine.
Whoa.
2 fingers.
Easy there, pervert.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm not saying.
Huh?
I'm not saying. I'm not.
The shocker?
I'm not saying two in the pink, 1 in the stink. I'm just saying
God.
2 fingers, dude. Go for it.
Oh, the shocker.
Maybe. Let me.
There's a little Coke. You can mix it with Coke.
I gotta tell you, I'm looking forward to reading that Civil War.
Yes.
That's no joke. I'm staring at the comic over there.
Just flip through it a little bit.
I'm thinking about I'm gonna flip through.
Yeah, it's now I understand why Disney was so adamant about getting Spider-Man back. You cannot have Civil War without Spider-Man. It doesn't work.
There you go. Good job, buddy.
Go. And now, plus the thing that concerns me though is you can't really have it in a way without Fantastic Four either. And which leads me to our next subject. We won't get too much into Civil War. I want Jay and Jeff to both read it before we talk about it in the next episode. So I would like to move on and bypass all the in the news stuff, and we'll get to that some other time. But as far as reviews are concerned, now I need your guys' help. I would like to know what to call this segment. I was thinking Rubs review,
Rubs.
Rum reviews, or incoherent reviews, or something.
Rum reviews is clean.
Yeah.
I like that.
A nice alliteration.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so we'll leave it at that.
How about ranting reviews?
It could turn into a rant.
Yeah, rants and reviews.
Nah, that's too wordy.
Too wordy. Yeah, so rum reviews is fine. It's hard to say 3 times fast. Anyway,
it's not ours. Rum reviews.
No, I'm going to use that as the intro. Anyway, so Fantastic Four. Which of you have seen it? I have.
I have not.
Oh, well, what the fuck?
Well, but here's my reason why.
Okay.
And if you'll understand, can I go first?
Go ahead, by all means.
All right. Leading up to this Fantastic Four release, I wasn't hearing anything positive. I started hearing about the director having issues. I started hearing about the director and the studio having issues. Then it turned into the studio having final cut into the making of the movie. And I was like, well, this is kind of interesting because there's some negative stuff going on. Here was the kicker for me. The cast went on some radio show. I don't remember which one it was, but I remember hearing about it. And essentially, it got to the point where they had to admit to the DJ who was, interviewing them, they weren't allowed to see the film. So here they are out trying to push a film that they weren't allowed to see. And to me, coming from...
Wait, that's the Johnny Depp theory. He doesn't watch anything he's been in.
No. Johnny Depp does that by his own will.
Yeah.
They were told, we're not releasing it. Not only that, they did a screening for the public and refused to release the screening information that was given back to them.
Yeah.
That was another one that I was like, man, this ain't good. But the kicker for me was when the cast and crew, or the cast said we weren't allowed to see it. I was like, I don't even know if I want to. I'm not going to waste my money to go see it. simply based on the fact of all that build up to that. That's my fault for not going and seeing it, but at the same time, I haven't heard anything good, even from people that did go see it.
Here's my reason why.
Okay, and also to reiterate, Jay hasn't seen it either. Go ahead.
Here's my reason why.
Okay, moving on.
I just said why. Like that.
Why?
Why? Here's my reason. Why?
I didn't hear that pause. I heard a pause that went for an hour after you finished that sentence. But
here's my reason. Why?
Okay, I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Now, I know the story quite a bit. I have actually seen the film, and I'll tell you right off, the reason I went to see the film, when my kid came for the summer, I set up, we're sick of on like Saturdays or Sundays or whatever, not having anything to do. So I did an entire calendar of events, and because I knew all these great summer movies, this is the best summer movie season since '89, period.
correct.
And so I was like, then I'm gonna map out. I joined the Regal Club. I said this before in previous episodes. I joined the Regal Club, the $5 Tuesdays, and did all that stuff. And we'd been going to the movies every week. That's how I've caught all these movies all summer. Very last one on the list was Fantastic Four. My daughter and I really bonded this summer over watching the Iron Man and Avengers films. She loves Iron Man. She's obsessed with it. And that's the one thing we both like watching in terms, other than maybe like Disney movies or something. So, checking my counter to make sure the fucking thing's rolling.
Yeah, I've been watching it too.
That was gold. Damn it. Anyway, moving on. Even Kevin Smith has done that. He did that in an episode with his wife where he forgot to hit the button and they had this long conversation. But anyway, as far as the movie's concerned, I'll talk about the movie and then I'll talk about what I know about the backstory of it. The movie itself is not nearly as bad as they're vilifying it to be. The problem is it suffers from split personality. It starts out as a really cool, weird Cronenberg, Ridley Scott kind of science fiction movie, and then halfway through they literally put this marker halfway through 1 year later, which I'd already seen some reviews that had pointed this thing out. I'm like, oh fuck, here it goes. And sure enough, from that 1 year later point forward, it's like they were trying to keep up with Avengers. That's all it was.
Okay.
It suffers from split personality. Either stay a cool, weird science fiction movie, just happen to be using comic book characters, which was awesome. Because Fantastic Four is very science-based. It's not real science, but it's science fiction-based. Or make a superhero movie, but fucking pick one. I can see what they did, and I can see how it ended up this way. The first half of the movie, watchable. I enjoyed it. Not my favorite movie this summer, not even close, but still, it was watchable. Second half of the movie, utter crap.
No.
Now, what I will say, in terms of the look of it, it's beautiful. I thought some of the actors, the guy who played Reed Richards, a little stiff, but Reed is stiff. And when you read Civil War, you'll kind of see that a little bit too. I think the girl who played Summers was forced down Trank's throat. Trank is the director, Josh Trank. And I think she's popular right now. I don't even know her name, don't care. But the Thing, especially, the Thing was really impressive. The Thing looked good, way better than Chiklis in the rubber suit. Now, I love Chiklis' Thing because he's awesome. That's what the Thing is like. Chiklis played the perfect Thing had they done CGI with it. If they'd have done like they did with Vin Diesel with Groot for Chiklis, I don't know if they could have done it back then, but Jar Jar Binks existed before that point, so you'd think maybe they could pull something off.
Right.
So did Smeagol.
Yeah.
But I do love Chiklis' Thing. The thing that bugs me, no pun intended, about the Thing in this movie is that for me, if you're going to do a CGI Thing, he needs to be bigger. I say that because the Thing is one of those few characters in the Marvel Universe that can at least hold his own with the Hulk, at least for a little while. And they made this guy maybe a half again, a third again bigger than an average human. Basically, he can still walk through the door.
No.
Which is not the Thing. Not at all. The Thing needs to be at least an inch shorter than the Hulk, minimum. That bugged me, of course. Then you get into Hulk, because I know the actor was on stilts, and the guy was actually there on the stage. But I didn't have nearly as much problem with as everyone's bitching about. What I do have a problem with is what we've talked about before. Stop, studios, fucking please. Let the superhero movies be, and make some independent movies, or make some smaller movies, or make some new movies as well. Do them both. Don't just fucking stick with the whole we're gonna bash Star Trek and Star Wars and comic books to death until nobody cares anymore. Yes, we want to see those movies. Yes, I'd rather see a comic book film or a science fiction film or anything else, but please do something else. What happened here, this is what I see happening. I listened to Josh Trank's interview on Kevin Smith's shows, Fat Man on Batman. And he had Trank on for 3 episodes, and it was supposed to be a 4-episode arc. And he had those 3 episodes with Trank before the movie came out. Trank bailed on the 4th episode, which is understandable. Smith wrote him a letter or an email or whatever and said, "Hey, I get it." You know, if anybody's been just completely bashed at the box office, it's been Kevin Smith. I mean, Tusk was annihilated. Don't get me started. I like Tusk, but Jay's giving me the
Walked out.
I get it. He did. He halfway through, he's like, "I'm done. I've seen the guy in the rubber suit. I'm done." So anyway, so Kevin's like, I feel your pain, man. Well, it comes out as, like you were saying, I didn't know this part, but what you said makes perfect sense. They were not allowed to see their movie.
Right.
Trank was pissed because his movie was taken away from him. Now, I listened to both
Now Trank's or
Josh Trank
is the
director.
Right, I don't know if everybody's going to know that.
He directed a movie called Chronicle, which was
Right.
a loosely superhero, kind of like Jumper, but low budget, found footage kind of film. And I haven't seen it yet, but I heard it was excellent. And Jeff's giving me the thumbs up, so I'm guessing
Yeah, it was good. I liked it.
But I will actually repeat something Comic Book Girl 19 said in her review, and she does a very good review of why this movie bombed and what was wrong with it. And I'm not even going to try to mimic that except for one thing. She said they're bringing directors, and this kind of ties into what you said the last time you were here. Rather than pay a director, pay a producer, pay a writer, they're just having one person do the whole thing.
Right.
Some studios are going after these independent directors. Got some traction with independent film or a lower budget film, putting them in charge of these huge, gigantic budget films, but they're not Favreau. They're not Spielberg. They're not these guys who can go, fuck you, this is what I'm going to do, because I'm the director. You guys hired me to be the director. So they bring these young kids in who are kind of overwhelmed with this, and they can push them around. They have no clout in Hollywood whatsoever. And that's what happened. I really think these guys did those test screenings, because apparently the original test screening, and this comes from Comic Book Girl 19 as well, the original test screening had the car that they had, the flying car in the comic books. It had a whole bunch of other shit that happened that just the scene in the trailer where they airdropped the thing.
Yeah.
I thought that was awesome. I was waiting to see that, and it wasn't even there.
It wasn't even in the movie.
Nope, wasn't even in the movie. Wow. They cut a massive action scene out and just put this video game superhero style end fight, or as comic book called it, a boss fight. Comic Book Girl like with that. And that made perfect sense. Dr. Doom has no motivation whatsoever. He was the worst Doom I've ever seen. Even the Doom in the other ones is better. I mean, not the actor. The actor's fine. But what they did with the effects and everything. I get what they were trying to do, and it could have worked had they gone, like I said earlier, more of a science fiction Aliens kind of thing with it, or Prometheus kind of thing with it, where it was just really weird and trippy, and you didn't know if you liked it or not, but it was still cool.
Yeah.
They could have done that. They could have kept going that. And when all this happened, when the movie got released and immediately tanked right off the bat, it was almost, from the layman's point of view, it seemed like the executives of Fox saw Avengers and said, oh, fuck, we let Trank make a weird Blade Runner, which I would be thrilled with, you know? But they're like, oh, we gotta go back and change this, oh shit. And they pretty much did to Trank what they did to Richard Donner years ago with Superman 2. Not the same company, obviously, but with Superman 2, they fired Donner, they brought another guy in to cut his shit up, they fired Brando and brought the guy, or the girl who played his mom in, and they completely redid Superman 2. And it's an inferior film because of it.
Right.
Now they put out the Richard Donner cut of Superman 2, which is way better. But anyway, I digress. So they kind of did the same thing with Trank. Trank, the next day, became a hermit. Like, he got a lawyer. He made a mistake and put it, like you said, it goes on the internet, it stays there. He made a mistake and put a tweet out basically saying, I got fucked.
Yep.
Fox ruined my movie. Not in those words, but...
Pretty close.
Pretty close.
Pretty close.
But then immediately pulled it. Well, too bad. Guess what? You know that little sniping tool on your screen? You can take that and save it as a photo. So that's what happened. He pulled it immediately. I mean, Fox has an actionable position because of that, because it could be argued. It's bullshit, but it could be argued that he's hurting their box office by saying something like that. So he was kind of stupid for saying that, which just goes to show what a young and inexperienced director he is. Now, I can't direct shit. I'm not criticizing him. You said Chronicle was awesome, and I plan to see it. And I'm actually listening to his interview. I'm really impressed with him. He loves Fantastic Four.
Right.
He brought on people that love Fantastic Four. Some of the casting he couldn't control, but as much as he could, he did.
He did say if they would just show his product, it would be a different Fantastic Four. The reason his issue is, all of a sudden the studio came in and was like, no. And that's why you're watching studio movie, not his movie.
But
and
you see the gear
he even
shift.
tweeted, huh?
Yeah, you see the gear shift. It goes from his movie clunk to studio movie.
Really? So it's obvious.
Exactly
huh?
what it. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
They even put it in there, like we're stupid, like a Frasier fucking 1 year later. Like,
Like a SpongeBob moment.
Bingo! It was a fucking... God damn it, that's exactly right.
Yeah. Okay.
Fucking, and Fox,
2 days
Wow.
later.
Fox fucked up, man. Fox fucked up. Trank would have had a really cool, weird... It might not have been Avengers, but it would have been a really cool...
So it's kind of more like, it started out kind of like, what was that other one with the 4 guys?
Highlander.
No.
Don't fuck with it, man. 4 guys, Ghostbusters.
No. Fuck. I had it earlier.
We've had this, Jay. I mean,
Here we go again.
Here comes filler. So,
Wait for it.
Yeah, I can edit all this down.
Do.
You didn't hear the latest episode. He's bitching at me for looking up something, and he's in the background going, "No, you gonna hurry up?"
No. What was that one with like the Roush?
Turtles.
No, the
Bane?
guy. Oh,
Give me a year.
like a couple years ago, like
Science
five,
fiction.
6 years ago. Heroes. The guy with like the fucking stocking mash, and then can like make his face Rorschach.
From Watchmen.
Yeah. So he started out like that.
Yeah.
So and then it ended up like.
Well, I wouldn't say exactly like that because Watchmen's more like an extreme version of a comic book movie, whereas this was more science fiction. But yeah, it started out different. You're absolutely right.
Artistic,
Yeah. Big.
dark
Yeah.
type
darker, absolutely.
See,
thing.
that's what
and
that's
then,
what excited me about this Fantastic Four. It had that gritty, dark look to
Yeah.
it
Mhm.
that a lot of these comics are trying to go to, like a Dark Knight type thing. I
Or
liked
Daredevil.
it, or Daredevil, and I liked it. And then I'm listening to you, and you say it flipped from night to day.
Bingo.
I'm just like,
Yeah.
jeez.
It's suddenly like, we're the Fantastic Four, da-da-da, and we're going to fight Doctor Doom for no fucking reason. Pretty much what it is. The premise, and you know what, anybody who happens to listen to us, our reviews are always going to be filled with spoilers. Fuck it, we don't care. But the premise of Doctor Doom, he's not, he might be from Latveria, but he has nothing to do, the whole point of Doctor Doom, and I don't even know that much about Doctor Doom, just from Screw Attack and a few other things that I've read. Apparently he's a little like Teth Adam or Black Adam comics, where he's in charge of his own country and everyone there thinks he's a god, but the rest of the world hates him. It's pretty much similar to that. But none of that's there. He's a bitter, pissed off fucking Gen X scientist who gets fired because he's a douchebag and can't handle his own shit. And then they drag him back in because the only one smart enough to figure it all out, and he knows this, so he's an asshole through the whole thing. And then he gets left in the other dimension and suddenly gets taken over by this goo, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
Right.
and gets his environment suit gets warped to him, which is why as Doom he looks like a trash bag with green eyes. That's all. And here's the thing about Doctor Doom in the comics, at least as far as I understand it, is he thinks he's doing the right thing. He thinks he's trying to save the world by taking over, similar to Ra's al Ghul, and he thinks he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. Whereas this guy just wants to obliterate humanity, but wants to go back to his weird, desolate dimension to do it. Makes no sense. The whole thing doesn't make any sense. I will say visually, the whole thing is incredibly beautiful. They did a very good job with the effects. The thing looks seamless, but the story was just sucking ass at the end. And it's just I will say this also. Not only did I see it on economy, but I saw it because I'd already earned a free ticket because we went to the other movies. So literally, I went just to pay my ticket. I got a free popcorn, a free soda for the kid because we'd gone to other movies before, and that's the only reason I went. So I'm like, I get for $5, both of us get to sit and eat popcorn and watch it, And I wouldn't have paid full price for it even then. I wasn't going to do that. So I'm hoping they'll do like what they did with Donner. Hopefully not 20 years later like they did with Donner, but they will take Trank's footage, put it all back together. But then Fox would have to pull their dick out of their ass and go, "Oh, we were wrong," which they're probably never going to do.
No, they're going to, and here's why I say that. Last I heard about this whole Fantastic Four fiasco, they were actually reaching out to the public. What can we do? What do you think we can do? Anybody have any ideas? Which to me was even weirder than everything else that I'd been hearing, and I might be wrong on that, but that's what I heard.
Well, that's good. I think that, and I hope that's the case. If they were to ask me that opinion, I'd be like, okay, leave Trank alone. He slipped up, he got pissed, but you know what? You fucked up his shit, so that's on you. Yeah. Leave him alone, bring him back in like Donner did years, and say, recut your movie, we'll put it out on extended release DVD or Blu-ray, just like Lord of the Rings and whatnot. I mean, Peter Jackson makes his movies knowing he's going to make them longer for home video. So do that. If they did that, I'd be excited. That could be a whole other release. They could put it out in Blu-ray. They could have
salvage the whole thing.
Salvage the whole thing, exactly. Make up for it in Blu-ray sales. And also that would help them because they've already greenlit the sequel. Yeah, no shit. So it's like, what the fuck are you guys idiots? The thing that cracks me up though is, and I kind of agree with this movie is actually, I wouldn't say it's the worst comic book movie ever created because of course there's the Captain America from the 90s and there's the Fantastic Four from the 90s that was just awful.
Shut your mouth.
It's funny. But this is like the worst, one of the worst mainstream comic book movies ever made. I mean, it's just awful.
Stop.
What?
Because I want to do American Ultra, which I know you haven't seen. Have you seen? All right.
I've seen it. Yeah.
American Ultra.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
I thought was
Now, give me the premise first. What's it about? Because I don't know anything about it.
American Ultra is basically this guy is in this small town. He works at a convenience store, grocery store, whatever.
That's where he's planted.
Yeah, that's where he's planted.
Isn't it Eisenberg?
Yes.
Yes. And he's a stoner, loser kind of guy who loves his girlfriend and wants to propose to her and all this. And he tries to take vacation, but he can't leave town. Every time he tries to leave town, he pukes, blah, blah, blah. You know, turns out,
He's programmed, I'm sure.
yeah, turns out he's programmed. He's like this super human, like trained.
He's a Jason Bourne.
Yeah. Jason Bourne, exactly. Good.
He's a Jason Bourne.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
In a comedy sense.
Well,
though.
Chuck. That's what.
So-
Chuck.
Yeah. Only Chuck got.
He got programmed.
Yes.
So I thought I saw this movie with a couple beers. You know, a little disclaimer, maybe one.
Which, according to you, didn't save Ant-Man, but okay.
Maybe yeah. It didn't even say the beers didn't even say Batman. But this one I would say is kind of like the perfect date night movie. It has romance, it has action, it has kind of everything. It was very cute. I think Eisenberg, the way he played that was just awesome because all of a sudden, it's not really being a badass super fighter dude who could do ninja shit.
Damon pulled it off.
Damon's a little bit different.
He also is a little more physically fit.
True.
Yeah.
This guy is still very skinny.
Yeah.
Very Sheldon, yeah.
Yeah, you know.
When you see him in the movie, he's got the whole, Snipe from, with the whole long hair from Harry Potter, the whole Snipe thing.
Yeah, complete he's my brother. I mean, basically, he's my brother. You know, like same long hairs, wearing a flannel
Correct.
from the
Same
90s.
long hair as you.
Right.
Did
You're
you ever
just
meet his brother?
no, he didn't.
You couldn't be more off. Just, wow.
Oh, is that right?
Oh,
Yeah.
Man. He was like, yeah. That's the kind of guy he was. Like, he's like, hey. No, this guy was. Anyway.
Yeah, he smoked a lot of weed.
Smoked a lot.
Anyway, it was the perfect, or it could be the perfect kind of date night movie. There was a lot of cute things. Now, I will say this, very predictable. Like you knew what was going to happen with her. You knew who she was, what she was doing, how she was involved in the entire thing. You knew kind of the plot. You knew how it was going to end. Very, very predictable. But at the same time, totally worth seeing. Totally worth seeing because it was made just to entertain you for that hour and a half, 2 hours, however long it was.
That's something to be said.
And I love that about movies. It's like, hey, we're dumb, we're simple, and we're simply gonna entertain you. And I'm like, all right,
Give me popcorn soda. Make it that.
The fighting scenes weren't too extreme. They were simple, like really quick. There was no like super ninja shit. It was like
Kick-Ass, maybe.
kind of, yeah, kind of like
That's
ka-ching, 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 done,
Yeah,
dead.
Fun. Yeah.
The only thing
For a laugh.
the only problem I had is Topher Grace was in the movie.
Who I usually love.
And I usually do too. In this movie, I thought he kind of played it perfect. He was almost like he was when he was Venom in the Spider-Man movies. He was trying to
A lot
be.
of people bash him for that. But
Yeah.
I like that one.
He was trying to be a dick. It kind of doesn't suit him, but it does at the same time because he's redheaded and soulless. So all right.
You know who he reminded me of? From Mr. and Mrs. Smith when they were going after that one guy who ends up he plants. Have you guys seen Mr. and Mrs. Smith?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Remember the guy? He's sitting in the chair. He's got the Fight Club shirt.
Yeah.
Talking to Brad Pitt. He kind of had that same role. Or
Vince
this?
Vaughn, or?
No.
Oh,
No.
okay.
No. The target.
Yeah, the target.
Yeah.
He's wearing because he cocky. He was in charge of something.
He was the
Gets
perfect.
you.
All right, so here's how I view it. He was the perfect government employee. I am in charge now, and you're gonna do what I say now
Because I said so.
because I said so. And that's the way.
A piece of paper says I can.
That's the way he played it. Although absolutely true to life, I think also a little over the top. And then
Sure was on.
and then the way they ended him, I'm thinking that wouldn't happen because as government employees, we'd rather torture you and send you to like the post office or some shit, versus shooting you in the head, because sometimes we'd rather be shot in the head than have to continue on in this life. Yeah, spoiler alert, by the way. Rob did say we will spoil the movie for you.
Yeah.
So I was really skeptical about his role. He did play great. Again, kind of like his Venom character a lot. Dude, I thought it was just an awesome movie. I mean, it was just simple. It's not granular. It's just what it was.
Granular?
Granular.
Granular? Granger?
Whatever.
Granger?
Shut
Hermione
up.
Granger. I love Amora.
What'd you think?
Of the movie?
Yeah.
I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was not unpredictable. It was very predictable as to what was going to happen. But they had a lot of characters.
So was Jurassic Park. That didn't make it less entertaining.
Yeah.
No, but it still had a lot of characters in it that seen in plenty of other movies that make me laugh. Play the good scenes. So
It struck me a little like Get Smart. Like
not that goofy.
No.
Not that goofy.
No.
It was pretty good.
It was serious, but
Okay.
it was cutesy serious, if that makes sense.
I
Well,
guess I'm trying to think of something to
there's a
compare it
scene
to.
where this lady walks in the store.
Well, Hudson Hawk's a good example.
Well, the entire movie, he's trying to figure out the perfect moment to propose to his girlfriend.
So that's the A plot or the B plot and everything else is going on around.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay. What were you saying, Jeff?
Well, there's the scene where this woman walks in and tries to snap him out of his, because he's been, to break him
He's in
out,
his mode.
Yeah.
to get him into his mode. But she keeps saying this code, and he's just like, zero clue what she's talking about. And I just am like,
You guys have seen Jeff's voice.
Jeff is blinking like 9 times.
Blink, blink, blink.
well, no, and then the lady's looking at him, and so she says it again, and he does it again, just staring at her. And then he's like, "Are you gonna buy the soup?" And this, that, and that. And she just gets this look of, you just see her shoulders shrug, and she's like, "Oh God, it's not working." And then
But it did. She just
but
did.
in small pieces.
Yeah.
It was good. I like the way it went down. There was she's very serious, and he's very just Keystone. I don't know why you keep saying this crazy shit.
As a government employee like he is, the entire time he just wants to propose to his girlfriend, and he just wants to go home. That's all he wants to do. He just wants to. I just want to be left alone and go home. It was just. It was awesome.
He works at a store that clearly nobody goes to.
Yeah, no customers.
Nobody.
Like the entire.
Even clerks.
Yeah.
The look on his face when that woman walked in was like, oh.
Yeah.
He's like,
No. He didn't have two customers. He had like the elderly gentleman or couple, whatever, earlier before that.
I don't know,
But that was it. It was like the elderly couple, his girlfriend, and him are the only people that live in this entire town. Oh, and his drug dealer friend.
But if the store is like in the middle.
Oh, and I gotta say, who plays the drug dealer? What's that guy's name?
He's a good. I can't remember his name.
John.
Leguizamo.
Yeah.
John Leguizamo?
Yeah. Dude, he was awesome.
He's awesome in everything.
And again, spoiler alert. Pause. That dude dies, and that kind of made me sad because he was awesome in that movie.
Often unremembered John Leguizamo character. Clown in Spawn.
Yep.
Remember that?
Well, he's also the Hunchback in 300.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. He's amazing.
I didn't know that.
That's one of those things. That's one of those kind of like was it Tim Roth in Planet of the Apes, the Tim Burton Planet of the Apes,
Yeah.
Right.
as General whatever it was.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
Yeah, he was.
Just stunning. I mean, you could tell Michael Clark Duncan's Michael Clark Duncan because he's
Right,
awesome.
right,
You can
right,
hear the voice. But I had no idea that was Roth until I looked at the credits.
No,
Not a clue.
I knew that was Roth. I think I knew that before
Yeah,
I saw the movie.
But had
but-
you not realized it, you wouldn't have known it.
No, I would have.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I think Four Rooms when I think Roth. I think Reservoir Dogs when I think Roth. I mean, did
yeah.
you guys ever see Four Rooms?
Oh yeah, you made me watch it because
know.
you told me. But and that's why when I go to hotel rooms, I check the bed for the day.
porn story. Oh, there's a story I haven't told.
Oh, all right, we'll save that for
Save
later.
that one for later for random free association later on. Okay.
American Ultra, yes, definitely. Like
seeing.
take your wife.
Out of 4 shots, how many?
4.
Really?
I would again take your wife, have a beer or two, or have dinner. Don't see it completely sober, but see it on
I'd say at least 3.5.
see it on a date night with your wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, and it's completely thoroughly entertaining.
Comic Book Girl 19, who we mention very often on this show, and apparently she's going to think cyber stalking her, but we love her. She is amazing. She's kind of our YouTube hero. She did.
I'm gonna say a little disappointed about your Games of Thrones reviews this year, but I get it. You're working on History of X-Men. That's fine.
The whole potato cam thing. Everyone's pissed about that. But
I wasn't mad about it. I was more confused. I was more confused. Like, wait, why? Okay, that's cool.
But that being said,
the
reason why she wasn't doing those things, working on a big project, Epic History of X-Men. Put out Volume 1, and now it's on YouTube for free, so you can watch it. And of course, that's why I watched it. And then I watched today the first 10 minutes of Volume 2.
Which I think you're a cheapskate. You should have gave her like the $3 to watch it.
I didn't know about it before that point. I listened to her reviews, but I was like, I don't know anything. X-Men isn't my thing.
Right.
Avengers isn't my thing. I mean, the Justice League is my thing. Batman's my thing. But because of the movies, I'm giving it another go. I'm rewatching the X-Men film. But anyway, I digress. So you suggested we watch Epic History of X-Men. Did you both watch that?
Yes.
Jeff did not watch it.
I did not.
Okay. That's okay, because I didn't watch American Ultra. I had no idea. But anyway,
right.
Jay, you were the one who suggested this. You watched it. What do you think?
So I'm not a big comic book reader. The only thing I know is cartoons. In the first episode, she did an hour. And there's only so much that you can do in an hour. I think the whole thing was like an hour and 9 minutes or something like that. So you're trying to cram 50 years of history into an hour. Now, to me, I went to college for a lot of years.
Just a hair under a decade.
Yeah. Over a decade.
Yeah, you're right. Hair over a decade.
A hair over a decade. So I understand that, history takes time and stories and all these things. And so you're trying to cram 50 years of that into an hour. So to me, trying to keep up, I kind of wish that I would have watched it 2 or 3 times to kind of understand everything she says. She does a thorough, and she categorizes it well. These are the characters. This is the history. This is how it started. She started with, I think, the first 20 minutes. This is the history of comic books. And I thought that was great. I didn't know about the censorship group about comic books in the 50s. I didn't know about any of that. In which case, I kind of wish she would have took that part of the episode and made that like a prequel or a teaser for me to go in, and then I would buy the $3 episode of X-Men History 1 and that be an hour long. I'm not criticizing her for doing that because that's giving me a history of comics. She also ties into what I was trying to tell you, Jeff, earlier, is that she correlates where Stan Lee and I can't remember the other guy's name.
Jack Kirby?
Yeah. Where they take X-Men, she describes perfectly. They take X-Men and they write X-Men exactly what's going on with the times. The mutants have to register, they're fighting for their rights. In the 60s, the X-Men came out, and that's when the civil rights was happening. The blacks, the women, they're all fighting for their rights. So the X-Men are mirroring what's going on during the 60s. I think that's kind of where I hope she started versus the first 20 years of comic books. That should have been a teaser because that would have given me more time to listen about the X-Men and how it evolved in that first hour. I'm not criticizing her for it. I'm not skepticizing or anything else. I enjoyed the entire thing because it was thorough. It was from the beginning of comic books and how we arrived to Stan Lee and
Jack
Kirby, thank you, coming up with the X-Men and starting this whole new comic book revelation. That was, that should have been the end of the trailer going into the history of the X-Men, kind of. Now, she does a great job separating. She separates the classes and the decades of the X-Men, and I thought that was great. She tries to condense and expand as much as she can within the time that she does it. I'm more afraid that she only did 2 episodes versus 3 or 4 or 5 because she points out there's a lot of characters of the X-Men. You mentioned one, just my favorite one of all time, Gambit.
Yeah.
She doesn't.
Yeah.
She doesn't even mention Gambit in the first history of the X-Men. I hope she mentions in the second one because he is my favorite character. she describes Professor X goes to this country and goes to that country and goes to this country and whatnot, but she doesn't go to. She went to Louisiana to recruit Gambit, who I believe turned down the X-Men because he likes to be an independent.
Was it kind of mentioned? I think was it Wolverine Origins?
Wolverine did that too.
Yeah.
Well, Wolverine turned him down too.
Yeah, at first. Till he
Gambit.
We'll get into that later.
Yeah. So
she did mention
he's a later
that,
character.
yeah, but his name wasn't even mentioned in that entire thing. So I don't know anything about comic books and their backstory or when Gambit was actually introduced. I think she went to 1975 or something.
Roughly. She stopped at the 80s because that's where the Phoenix saga starts, and that's where she's going.
Yeah. So I don't even know if Gambit was even introduced up until then.
Possible. I don't know.
And that could be a possibility. Why? I mean, she mentioned the classes where they can turn people this into energy or time warp. Maybe he wasn't just in that. Maybe he didn't even get introduced until the cartoons, the early '90s or whatever. I don't know.
Still one of the best.
Yeah, and she actually uses those clips really well. I think she was as thorough as she could be in the time limit she gave herself, and that's my only criticism. Is I think she gave herself a time limit of I want to do 2 episodes, about an hour each.
I wouldn't call that a criticism, more so as an observation. That's a discipline thing, right?
Yeah.
She could go on for years just talking about
Well,
X-Men's her favorite.
Yeah, and the way the '60s went, where she described where they didn't even do comic books. They would do one in 1 month, and then 3 months later, the next one would come out. So I don't think she could have done episode 1 the '60s, episode 2 the '70s.
Which was I was expecting when she first announced this. That's
Yeah.
what I was expecting.
And so I don't think she could have done 50 years of the X-Men, the '60s in one episode. I don't think she could have done that. I think that's why it may have turned out as 2 episodes, is that you have up until here, and then you have to what our generation and the younger generation knows. So she went, I kind of believe she went older generation, and then what our generation, late 30s to younger 20s is.
We're all 40 now, pal. Anyway, go on.
Damn it. Haha, even you. Happy birthday. By the way, Rob just turned 40 this week. Yes, this week. Happy birthday to Rob.
Thank you.
Maybe that was something. I don't want to criticize. I think she did a wonderful job. I think it was completely as thorough as she could be within the time allotted that she gave herself for each episode. Again, my one criticism was I think the one that she could have used the history of comic books as a teaser into the history of X-Men type thing. But that's just to generate interest. Either way, she did a fantastic job doing that.
I will say I did see the Volume 1 on YouTube, and I also watched the first 10 minutes of Volume 2 that she posted.
I did not see that.
That being said, you should. That being said, because that might actually, you might pay for the rest.
I didn't see that intentionally because you know how I feel about trailers.
Right. But this is more of a trailer. This is like 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
It's like a first part of the story.
Well, I want to watch the whole.
You were talking about
Right.
in this section.
Right. I wanted to see. I'd rather see the whole thing than just the 10 minutes. And I'll pay the $3. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. As far as Volume 1 is concerned, I think
if you like this Comic Book Girl 19, if you like this, I'll send you $3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Give me your address. All right, here you go.
Here's cash.
Here's cash.
But anyway, I think the look and the feel of this that she did was very much like her other. I don't think it really stepped out of her norm, which I'll get to in a second in terms of the second one. On the screen right there is one of my favorite documentaries about comic books ever. Comic Book Heroes Unmasked. It's a documentary. It's a comprehensive history of comic books from 1939 Superman to now, or at least to 2000. So
is this the one narrated by the old CNN TNT guy?
I don't know if you've seen it in TNT, but he's been in a ton of movies. He's been in.
Yeah, he's the black guy that was in the movie with.
He was Dr. Vasilier in Princess.
No, that's not where you're gonna remember him. He's like, I don't like cops, with Charlie Sheen and Emilio Estevez were the garbage men.
Men at Work.
Men at Work. He was the black guy in that.
Was he?
Yeah. Oh my God! How do you not?
He was the general in Armageddon.
How do you not know?
Anyway,
right.
I haven't seen that. That's another one. I haven't seen that movie in 20 years at least.
Oh, that's still a great.
Men at Black or Men at Black. Men at Work.
Men at Work. Still,
I just remember
great
the
movie.
man,
yeah.
The guy in the ass with the BB gun.
Great movie. Yeah. Anyway.
This documentary, basically, it's a comprehensive history of comic books because I had already seen this and read the companion book. What she was saying.
Hang on. Say the name again.
Okay. Comic Book Heroes Unmasked. It's a History Channel documentary. And it's available on YouTube, or you can go out and buy it, but it is available on YouTube. And it tells the entire story of comic books, publication history, story arc stuff, character types, all starting, of course, with Action Comics, #1. And having seen this a few times, rewatching it again after her show, what she was saying in the beginning made, of course, more sense to me because I get it. The whole Wortham and the Seduction of the Innocent book, the whole Stan Lee, Jack Kirby coming together, the whole DC Comics dominating, and then Marvel kind of coming up out of the ashes. The whole they started doing horror comics for a long time, and they created their own comic book code authority, which tell that Lee never wanting to do. Knowing all that history put hers into perspective. I think hers is a good companion to that documentary. Meaning, watch that documentary and then watch hers to get more specific information about X-Men. So I would definitely recommend it'll be better when you watch both of them back. It'll make much more sense.
Oh, and I believe you, and I really want to. First off, I apologize to Comic Book Girl 19, and this is where I placate.
I'm pretty sure you got a crush on her.
I placate to you. I'm not on the computer that often, or almost nearly ever. So
I see you looking at your screen. Are you actually thinking you're talking to her right now?
Yeah, I am. No,
Probably like half.
I'm actually looking for something else, and yeah, it's probably. But the Game of Thrones, when I had my old job, I can actually watch her and follow her.
We had a ton of time at the
Yeah,
old job.
yeah. At the old job, great. Nowadays, not so much. So I apologize.
Which I still do at my job.
So when that comes out, I don't get like a notification, or I'm not on the computer for very often. So I need you to tell me when that comes out, and I will totally pay.
I will let you know.
Yeah, I will totally pay for that
It's
coming
ready
out.
on Vimeo.
Is it?
On Vimeo, yeah, it's already.
I don't even know what that is.
Go to her.
Okay. That's probably on our website. That's pretty much all I'd say. That was it.
Okay, so 2 thumbs up for epic history of X-Men.
Yeah, absolutely. The first one, because it does give you someone like me who doesn't know anything about comic books the basics of what you need to know to lead into hopefully what you're talking about, the second one, which we will definitely get into our next episode next month.
Also, you too. I'd like you to watch that one. Heroes Unmasked.
I was planning on watching that, but it turned to
That was long.
It was just past my bedtime.
All copyrighted materials are used for review and discussion purposes only. No copyright infringement is intended by members of the Rum Rants podcast or Sterling Broadcasting. Thank you.